You're watching the news on the hour brought to you from the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN. I am Zubechi Frank. You are welcome. The General Secretary of the Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, the Venerable Acnn Dajo, has called on all Anglican faithful and all Christians as well to fully participate in the 3 days general fasting declared by the Church of Nigeria. He said that the October 1st to 3rd fasting is centered on praying for Nigeria and the forthcoming general elections. Venerable Acnn Dajo made this statement as a reminder to all Christians and Anglican faithful in an interview in Abuja with ACNN News correspondent Nwanne Ogechukwu, making reference to the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14. The General Secretary said that the Church must stand to intercede for the nation.
The Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion had a standing committee meeting and deliberated upon many issues concerning the church and the nation, and sought the face of God in prayer, and decided that based on what is happening in our country today, the church deemed it fit to call upon the Anglican faithful, and indeed the entire body of Christ in Nigeria, to pray and fast from the 1st of October to the 3rd of October. The idea is that the church is looking forward to a leader that will look at the welfare of the citizens of Nigeria. So the Church of Nigeria is calling on all believers to trust God for these 3 days, praying and asking God. And 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14 is one of the anchors of this prayer. Although the church agreed that our fathers in God, the archbishops and the bishops, should organize in their dioceses how these prayers are to be undertaken. So we are trusting God that after these 3 days of prayer and fasting, God will hear us and He will heal our land.
He further called on the church to have faith in God even as they wait on Him in prayers and fasting, urging them to do away with any form of doubt and faithlessness.
Yes, Khan has been praying, other churches have been praying, and it would seem as if God is not answering. But I want to tell you that God is actually answering our prayers, just that He's not answering in the way we would want to see it being answered. But I believe God is answering. We have been praying for our girl, Leah Sharibu, and part of the prayers also will be for her. And we know that God is going to rescue her and all those who are abducted, and God is going to show His mighty works in the land, in Nigeria.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, has assured Nigerians that he would perform better if given another opportunity in 2019. Buhari also said he had warned the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and the security agencies to ensure that every vote counts in 2019. He said he instructed them that all Nigerians must be allowed to vote whoever they want without harassment. Buhari stated this during an interactive section with a select group of Nigerian professionals based in the United States and Canada. Buhari said he recognized that Nigerians in the diaspora were talented people and called on them to come to the support of the country, particularly in education. The president also said that he was not slow as some people had assumed, saying he was trying to follow the law, especially as democracy is different from military rule. He recalled that he put people in Kirikiri Maximum Prison in Lagos when he was a military head of state, and then ensured they remain in custody until they were able to prove themselves innocent. Buhari, however, said his administration was making progress but had to go by the law, assuring that if he wins the next election and survives the next 4 years, he will do better. He also recounted his experience in politics, saying that he suffered electoral corruption from 2013 when he started contesting for the presidency and had at each point pursued the case up to the Supreme Court but lost. Alhaji Ibrahim Dankwambo, a presidential aspirant on the platform of People's Democratic Party (PDP), has promised to tackle insecurity and other challenges facing the country if elected president in 2019. Dankwambo, who is the incumbent governor of Gombe State, made the promise when he met with Nasarawa state delegates and other stakeholders of the party in Akwanga. The former Accountant General of the Federation said that he has the experience to fix the country's problem and provide the needed dividends of democracy to Nigerians. He urged delegates to vote for him during the forthcoming presidential primaries election to enable him fly the party's ticket in the 2019 general election. The Gombe State Governor also promised to initiate good policies and programs that would better the lives of Nigerians. He urged the party's members in the state to work hard for the victory of the party at all levels in 2019. The missions of the United States, European Union and the United Kingdom, who were on ground to monitor the exercise of the Osun State rerun governorship election, said there were incidents of harassment and intimidation of voters. Reading the mission's joint report, the U.S. Consul General Mr. John Bray said the mission witnessed what appeared to be incidents of interference and intimidation of voters and have reports of harassment of party monitors, journalists and domestic observers, among others.
The missions of the United States, the European Union, and the United Kingdom observed voting at polling stations in Osun today. We witnessed what appeared to be incidents of interference and intimidation of voters and heard reports of harassment of party monitors, journalists, and domestic observers. We are very concerned by these reports and will be checking with stakeholders to determine the facts. We call on all stakeholders to remain calm.
The Accountant General of the Federation, Alhaji Ahmed Idris, has called on the Nigerian Labour Congress to shelve its warning strike in order to allow the office complete the process of payment of salaries of civil servants. Idris, who said this in the statement issued in Abuja, noted that the industrial action had led to a situation where workers who were directly involved in the release of funds for payments of salaries could no longer have access to their office. He maintained that the payment of salaries could not be achieved under an atmosphere where critical stakeholders were not allowed access into their offices, noting that it may make it difficult for the federal government to fulfill its promises of payment of salaries to workers before the end of the month. He appealed to labor unions to shelve their strike in order to enable the office pay salaries to workers. We shall now go on a short commercial break. News on the hour continues in a moment. Please stay with us.
We all know the intricacies and influences of a student alma mater. As a budding lawyer in equity, I have always desired a place where I have the opportunity to harness my potentials. Truth be told, this school has not let me down in that respect. These were the reasons why my parents and I had to make the right choice on the university I would study law.
My name is Ogumodede Falashode Victoria, and I am a student of Ajayi Crowther University in the Department of Accounting 200 level.
I am David Adeyemi, a 400 level student from the Department of Biological Sciences and Nigerian Heritage Icon Ambassador of Youth for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
My name is Kevin Onyekachi-Okagu, a 300 level student of the Department of History and International Studies.
Ajayi Crowther University was definitely the right choice. With our standard Modupe and Folorenshaw Alakija Faculty of Law, which is equipped with a law library, an effective e-library, and conducive lecture rooms, and other things needed for you to have an edge in the labor market.
Ajayi Crowther is a fountain of greatness and a center of excellence.
Ajayi Crowther University offers payment of school fees in 3 installments, which makes it comfortable for a student to pay school fees. Ajayi Crowther University is known for raising godly intellectuals and promoting discipline. As a student, my favorite part is the full attention given to me by my able lecturers.
So I implore you to come to Ajayi Crowther University. Pick the right choice.
Select Ajayi Crowther University as the university of your choice to understand the pathway to a better future.
I urge you to make the right choice by choosing Ajayi Crowther.
Ayomide Daramola is my name, a 400 level law student, Faculty of Law, Ajayi Crowther University.
You are welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. The Benue State Governor Samuel Orton has warned the federal government against the disappearance of a certain 4 billion naira from the record 14.9 billion naira Paris Club refund from the state's account. Orton issued the warning while insisting that the state won't accept anything less than the 14.9 billion Paris Club refund meant for the state. In a statement by his spokesperson, Trevor Akase, Orton said the people of Benue heard the rumor about a certain 4 billion naira disappearing from the 14.9 billion naira final tranche of the Paris Club refund to Benue State, which the federal government later recalled from the state's bank account, and wants to warn that the rumor remains a mere rumor, stressing that nothing must happen to the 14.9 billion naira the federal government recalled from Benue State's account. Anglican clerics have called on the citizens of the country to stop complaining and murmuring, but instead they should unite together in order to move the nation forward. According to these clerics, it is God who created nations that are developed. So Nigerians should look up to that same God for a turnaround in the country. The clerics made this call in an interview in Niger State, where they further called on politicians as well as the masses to depend on God, because He alone is their present help in times of trouble.
In time like this, it's for us to look unto God. The situation is very frightening. It's very embarrassing. And instead of us moving forward, we are moving backward. We are not even on the same spot. We are moving backward, or in all respects, in terms of politics, in terms of economy, in terms of social infrastructure, in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of virtually everything, employment, so many things. And when you see things like this, the tendency is to begin to react negatively, either to resort to self-help, or to accept your fate, as it were, or to begin to do things that will not help the situation. So, because God is our refuge, He created us, He made us. The advanced countries, the countries that have made it, it is the same God that helped them. So we need to look unto God, but then we must do our own part. We cannot just ask God to do it while we fold our hands. We must begin to move forward.
Nigeria should take this message as a whole. In fact, this message is supposed to go to all the states in Nigeria. The states where there are kind of difficulties in terms of insecurity of lives. So this is also reminding people that God is able to provide for His people. When you run to Him, He will not leave you hungry. There must be a way out. In other words, God has a solution to all that we are passing through. So the states and federal government, or whatever, at all levels, and the legislators and the people, senators or House of Reps, and the politicians, we must embrace this message that God is our refuge, our present help in time of need, as we are passing through in Nigeria today.
The United States has warned that Nigeria was in danger of a looming population explosion by 2050. The U.S. Deputy Chief of Mission in Nigeria, David Young, gave the warning during an interactive forum with members of the Qasim Ibrahim Fellows held at Government House in the Kaduna State capital, where he advised the Nigerian government and other stakeholders to gear up to withstand the challenges of population explosion. He said the country's population would double to 400 million by the year 2050. Young expressed concern that the population will create more problems than opportunities for the nation in future if not well managed. Advising on the way forward, Young said government must focus attention on human capital development, health, education, and curbing corruption to the barest minimum. And now to foreign news. Some Anglican faithful and the Vatican have spoken out on the need to counter xenophobia and racism towards refugees and migrants. They made the demand at the World Conference on Xenophobia, Racism and Populist Nationalism in the context of global migration, which took place in Rome from 18th to 20th of September, co-sponsored by Vatican with the support of the Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity. They alleged the problem of populist nationalism inciting negative and violent responses to refugees and migrants and how it threatens communities both in countries of reception and countries of origin. Also, representatives of United Nations bodies such as UNICEF, the UN Alliance of Civilizations, and intergovernmental bodies such as the African Union and Council of Europe highlighted the attitudes and political circumstances that lead to populist nationalism and xenophobia, including inequality within nations, and emphasized the power of civil society, the media, academia, religious and ecumenical leadership to advocate for peace and equality between nationals and immigrants. So that's it on this edition of the News on the Hour. We want to thank you for watching. I am Zubechi Frank.